Hi,
That was
Adrian.
weird. Who else was on earlier?
Jill was on. There were 5 of us. I don't know who else, but no one else was on video.
That was really strange.
It was very strange.
Oh, there's Tanya.
Whoops. Oh, hi, Inga.
Hi.
How are you feeling?
Better.
Good.
Yep. Emergency and Theraflu.
I use Alka-Seltzer Plus.
Hi, Tanya.
Hello. I'm so sorry to hear you're still feeling icky though, Inga.
Yeah, I'll get better. I get a chance to relax.
Get some rest over the weekend.
Yeah. When Benton County Talks Trash is over, maybe.
Yeah.
Nancy,
Yes.
you knew Kat Newscheller, right?
No.
No, you didn't? Okay.
No, Patricia Brenner.
No, I thought she was with the Independent Schoolhouse.
She may be, but I don't know her. I always work with Kat Harris.
Oh, okay. Maybe I just,
Kat, you know.
all
Hi,
right.
Ross.
Yeah, there's
Hi.
not too many people.
No.
Okay, yeah, I'm mistook then. Well, then I don't have to tell you the bad news that she passed away.
Oh, well, I'm
No,
sorry.
but you don't know her, so, you know.
Yeah, I don't know her. Larry, you make a wonderful silhouette.
Guess I could close the curtains.
Ah, nice.
23. There we go.
Not much. But
Yeah, I
Hi,
did.
Rebecca. Get to see
Hi.
both of you.
we have a third family member joining us. Come here, Squeaker.
I'm not too sure about that.
Inga, have you heard any more? I saw Jesse Ott's letter, but regarding when they want to highlight Fort Hoskins,
No, I
Okay,
haven't heard
well,
anything.
it's going to be our keynote speech. So that's lots of highlight.
Yeah, he waiting to hear back from the folks who are gonna do the live acting, so.
Yeah, the reenactors. Okay.
Inga, did you send out notes and I'm just not finding them?
She did.
I sent out minutes
For
for
January and February, both.
Yeah, a long time ago.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's been a while.
that's all right. I was gonna share my screen and I've got like a kind of a messy agenda, but it should
So
get
like
us.
February 22nd, like around that time?
Yeah, sounds about right.
Let me look.
Yikes. Oh, boy.
I don't know. I thought it took me a couple of weeks to get the minutes done. I didn't think I was that fast.
25. I see a calendar in the January notes, but not February. Good thing you're going to share your screen.
They were sent on March the 1st.
March who?
March 1,
Yeah.
it was, so there were both the May 2023 calendar and the February 22nd.
You must have forgot me because you're not in my inbox and on March 1st. Did you forget me?
You are unforgettable,
Hey.
Adrian. Sorry. It's not possible.
I don't think I'm not sure I have that email either, Adrian. I'm
I
looking
forgot
for it too.
Tanya too. Oh my God, we are two unforgettable women.
That's right. It was on my email Monday, it says here. So which Monday is that? With Jesse Ott's message. You're on it, Adrian.
Jesse Ott.
You got a message from Jesse Ott.
What's the date of the email?
It says Monday. So
Okay, good.
yeah. That would
Monday.
be 2 days ago.
The 20th.
When is today? Today's the 24th. That would be the 22nd.
I sent it out Wednesday, March 1st.
Yeah.
Yeah, but on my email, I get Jesse Ott's comments, and then the one before that was yours to
And
everybody. And
Adrian is
March
on there
1st.
and Tanya's on there. Yes, you all
March
got.
All right,
first.
going back. I'm just going through hundreds of emails to find I scanned it by your name, Inga, but apparently that's not enough.
Yeah, that's what I did. I don't remember seeing it either, to be honest, but I'll keep looking here.
It is on March 1st.
Okay, here's March 1st. Simon date.
Oh,
It's not in my inbox. Isn't that weird?
They don't love you anymore. Your inbox doesn't love you anymore.
My inbox has to love me. I have a terrible relationship with my inbox for sure. I am often slighted by it.
Well, I want to give a big shout out to the Benton County HRC. Look who all's here. And look who all's
Mhm.
not here.
Yeah, I got a lot of emails from updates from people. So
Oh, that's good.
I do have updates.
I apologize. You were relegated to spam.
So
This is
your
not where I expect to find you. Except
inbox doesn't like
we did
Inga.
work on the Benton County Talks Trash logo, so maybe that's what happened.
That's probably it.
Yes, totally. Couldn't be anything else.
All right, it is 6:06.
Let's go.
Yeah.
It's the same for me, Inga. You're in spam for me too for that March 1st email.
That's very strange considering I've sent you
Yeah.
multiple emails over the years.
Yeah.
You think? Yeah, I don't know, but here it is. I found it.
Tanya and I are on the same Google page.
That's not what I wanted to share. Hold on.
Well,
Stop
that's okay too.
agenda. Why does it keep showing me Zoom? Is it sharing? What is it? Is it sharing them?
I see your document.
Okay.
Yeah, I do too. Joint Historic Preservation Month meeting, it says.
Okay. I thought it was sharing something wrong. Okay. First item, theme. I got 3 responses back and there was, and out of the 3, everyone chose something different. So
Okay, the one thing I want to suggest, and I don't care which one we use, is make views plural because we got windows plural. And the only time that views is plural is the last one, but whatever. Can we agree on making views plural and then picking something?
mhm,
Would that be all right?
mhm.
Okay.
I like the 4th one, windows into the past, views to the future.
I thought they were also alike that I just left it up to you guys.
Well, it looks like we're doing 4.
The, see, the third one has on as the, instead of, as the preposition. I kind of gravitated to the third one.
Well, Maria Paula just came on the chat and voted for 4.
4. Okay.
Mhm.
I like 4 also.
All right, sounds like you got a momentum on 4 with 4 amended. Okay,
And Sarah Johnson says 4.
Oh,
All
look at
right.
that.
Yeah.
I
views.
think we
Thank
should
you.
not overthink it.
Yeah.
move on.
Okay, we have a theme. Very good. All right, so our workshops, and I don't see Autumn. She's not on. But these were set, so we just need to get some updates on that for the calendar. Maria Paola, did you get to go to the old wooden hangar in Albany yet?
I wasn't able to go. I received some pictures, and I plan to go so the most important thing is to verify accessibility to some part of the roof. Yeah, that's the plan. But I think I could employ 4 students to do some demo once we identify a building that is not too far, so that we can so my plan is to create next week.
It's really hard to hear you. You're going in and out. So are you saying you're planning to visit, and you would still like to do the building structural assessment if possible?
I'm going to write.
You're going in chat. Are you putting it in the chat? Okay. Got it. She's planning to visit the hangar and verify if the demo is feasible, and maybe next week. Thank you. She has photos.
Sorry, I don't know why you cannot hear me well.
Yeah, we can kind of catch what you're saying, but it's just not entirely clear.
Okay. This is probably the fifth meeting, so probably to mistake me.
Okay, so that is still on the agenda as a possibility. Very good. So we did get dates for, Alyssa sent me dates for the hangar that they're going to, the open house for the hangar, and that's, can you see my calendar now? No? Okay, I gotta stop sharing.
No, I saw it.
Oh,
I saw the list. It isn't a calendar. It was a list.
now I got calendar. Here's the
Oh,
calendar.
there's your calendar. Okay, now I see your calendar.
So we've got the Albany Airport Hangar open house tour on Saturday and another one on Sunday, the 6th and the 7th. So those are set.
Okay.
All right, now I gotta go back and share the other thing. Okay, so Harding School is out. I emailed back and forth with Eric Wright, the principal, and their building is undergoing renovation right now, and it's not going to be open until September, he said. So they're not going to do their celebration probably until it reopens. So our venue for the award ceremony is the Whiteside Theater. And we have that booked already, and we have agreed, Sarah and I will jointly pay the $300 rental fee. So come out of both our budgets. And Nancy, you got David Bronner to be our speaker. And we will be giving him $100 honorarium
Thank you.
to be our speaker.
Thank you. I'll let him know. He was willing to do it, period, but it just doesn't seem right to not give him an honorarium because we always have given it to others. So
Right.
thank you.
So that's that. Oh, is there, I forgot, is there anyone on here who was not on our meeting last month? Is there any new person that needs to be introduced? Well, Jesse, you were in the one before, but go ahead again.
Yeah, I wasn't at the last
know.
one, but yeah, hey guys, I was mostly joining Jesse Ott, Deputy Director of Natural Areas, Parks and Events. And yeah, so Phil Hayes and I have been talking about having an event out at Fort Hoskins with a Frana, and so I think you guys have talked about that.
Can you hold off a minute, Jesse?
Yes.
Just wanted you to introduce yourself, and you jumped in.
Just to jump ahead of your schedule there. Okay.
We will talk about Fort Hoskins in a minute. Bernadette, were you wanting to
Yep,
say something?
I'm here. I'm new to the gang. I'm with Friends of Historic Albany. And so I'm just kind of listening in for now to see where we can fit in.
Excellent, thank you. Would you, Bernadette, if you would please put your email in the chat so I can add it to my list?
Betcha.
Okay, excellent.
And actually, one thing that we're looking at doing here, and we have to figure things out, is that the owner of the original drawings for the Albany Regional Museum is going to donate the drawings to the museum. And we're trying to figure out, they're from Warren Williams, the architect. And so we're trying to figure out if that becomes part of Preservation Month and how everyone's schedule is working. So that might be an event, but we haven't confirmed anything yet.
Okay. Put her on the list.
And I'll send you an email too.
Okay, good, thanks. All right, so what's next? We've got, okay, so the historic hangar I already talked about. They have 2 days. I'm not sure if we're gonna get the Adair historic memorabilia as part of that. If it doesn't happen, I'm not too worried because they're having their event on the 6th. Actually, it conflicts, so they probably won't do it since they're having conflicting days. Rickards, well, we are it's green because it's already done. So just jumping over the green stuff. Masonic Lodge. I just emailed back and forth with the secretary of the lodge because I hadn't heard back from Mr. Hatfield. And apparently Mr. Hatfield did not update his Patriots about the possible open house tour. So that has to be taken to their, I forget what he called it, their committee to be approved. But it sounded like he was interested. The secretary was, so hopefully that will happen. That would be pretty interesting to be able to get in there and hear about that history. That one's Not good. I have not heard about a KOAC, the tour dates yet, so I have no updates on that. And I have not heard any, Benton County Courthouse, not heard any dates about possible tours for that. Jill, do you have any idea if that?
I'm, I'm in the position where I can kind of ask you what space you have, and then I'll see if I can arrange that.
Well, I'll send you the calendar that we have.
Okay, and let me know if there's any day you particularly favor. I'm assuming that I'm on your, I've not been delegated to your trash list, but would you double check that for me when you have a chance?
Yeah,
Does your-
did you check your spam? Apparently my emails are going to spam.
Yeah, well, I did. I think I've gotten one from you, but from the conversations you're having, I think there are some that are not making it. So.
Okay. Yeah, I'll double check. I know Roz got left off a few of them.
Poor Roz.
Yes.
I'm on now.
Yeah. I'm trying to keep, yes, I'm trying to keep the people off that don't exist anymore and adding the people that do. It's getting a little confusing.
It's getting about 50-50, huh?
Yeah.
Well, you're doing pretty good. Last I counted, there was like 33 or 34 people you're CCing, so.
Yeah, it's a big list now.
got a lot
And
of
it's
work.
really cool because I'm getting people contacting me about stuff like stuff people that from years before or whatever, or just the word of mouth getting around. So it's really nice that I'm getting that. Yep. Yeah, there's plenty of open days, Jill. So that shouldn't be a problem.
So now, since we're on the subject, are you limiting that to one tour, or do you want to do several?
We can do several. It's up to you. It's totally
Okay.
up to you and the folks at the courthouse. Yeah.
Well, what happened last year was we got more people than we could fit into one tour.
Right.
So
I had to
might-
do an extra tour on the end. Yeah.
Yeah, so we might want to build in a little extra space just in case.
Okay. Yeah, I think you had 2 tours and then we added a third, right?
I think it was something like that, although it's not nearly as interesting now that the county offices are out. Of course, that's just my prejudicial comment.
Right. All right. So we'll plan on 3 and I'll send you the calendar and you can choose your dates and times.
Okay.
Okay. Excellent. All right. Fairmount Grange. Jay, did you get a chance to talk with them?
They were interested. I put them in touch with a woman who was the Albany HRC equivalent.
Alyssa.
And I haven't been in the thread, but I know they were interacting.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Mhm.
We'll keep these 2. All right, so Fort Hoskins next. Jesse.
All right, there's my cue. So I think you guys probably have a better handle on it than where I know, but I know that so we have a Fort Hoskins interpretation subcommittee with the park board that's going to meet during whatever day we choose. But I think the one thing that was just kind of holding us up is Lumos. Does anybody know if they picked a date or they want to participate? Because we had been trying to coordinate the reenactor group, and I reached out to them several times, haven't heard back. That's pretty much par for the course with them. We've had a couple reenactor groups change, and so sometimes if I'm reaching out to them and they're not active, I don't hear anything, and then out of nowhere I hear again. So I don't think we should hold our breath for the reenactor group. So I think it kind of hinges on Lumos and Phil and Dr. Bronner and the Fort Hoskins subcommittee when they're ready to meet. So kind of those 2 components. So I just didn't know about Lumos. Does anybody know more about that? If that's been set up at all?
So PK's been on the email list, and I have not heard from her. So I don't know, maybe my emails are going to her spam too. She was really into it last year. She was really happy to have the open house, but I guess it's the chicken and the egg. I've been waiting to hear from your reenactors before reaching out to her.
Yeah,
So,
I know. I think that this is pretty common. I think last summer when I was trying to reach out for him, I got kind of the same thing. So my recommendation was we move on without the reenactors, and if they chime in, we try to snag them for the date that we've chosen.
all right, well, let me share the calendar again.
Yeah, and that's also if the group thinks it's worth it without that whole component there, because won't be quite as big of a draw to have commander's house tours and stuff, but we would still have a robust program there. Afrana can set that up pretty quick, and especially if Dr. Bronner is able to make it on that one for that subcommittee meeting, that would kind of be an extra good synergy there.
Yeah, it would be very nice to have the reenactors there. I know we had talked about maybe Maria Paola suggested some music out there, like might help draw people. But I'm not sure. I don't know kind of who we would ask to do that. Actually, Jay, you had some connections with some folks who do like old-fashioned music, right? Or I don't know. I still don't know what to call it.
The group that picks out there at Mary's on Wednesdays, right? Would any of those people come out?
I don't know that they're how organized they are. I mean, they like to jam, but I don't know if they're, willing to project. Wild Hog in the Woods, but they're usually a pay gig. But they're, kind of folk, sort of style. And you kind of caught me off guard. Where were you wanting to place them?
Hoskins during the
maybe.
event.
I was actually just talking to one of the members of Wild Hog this morning. You want me to ask him?
Yeah. Jesse, is
Okay.
that all right?
Yeah, that sounds great to me. Yeah, that's kind of, I think last time we did tours that we advertised a little bit, and it wasn't part of the same kind of machine that you guys have going here with promotion and collaboration, but ours was kind of a independent one, and we got probably 20 people that came out off. So yeah, I think it would be great to get something to kind of entice people a little more than just a tour of the commander's house and stuff, if we can swing it. So yeah, that'd be great.
What's the day of it?
Well, we haven't chosen that yet.
Okay.
So this if everyone can see my calendar.
Yeah, so you were kind of waiting on those other parts of the puzzle to fall into place, right?
Yeah. So
okay, well, I'll ask my friend about it and just see if they're open to the concept.
Yeah,
it's probably going to be either the 13th or maybe the 27th.
that makes sense. I think that actually, from what I heard from kind of just surveying Afrana, that I think it was like the last 2 weeks were the very best for them. So I think that would fit.
Okay, so we could try and shoot for the 27th. The 20th would be fine, but Cumberland Church is having their spire raising party that day, or at least Alyssa thought it was their spire raising party. So we kind of don't want to, well, actually, I mean, Hoskins is within a decent driving distance of Albany, so I don't know, it could work, but try not to conflict. we don't have to.
Well, Inga, do you, what do you think about Lumos then? Do we just do one last, like, hey, would the 20th or, 13th or the 27th work for you? And then,
Yeah, I could ask them that and then give them the option and then coordinate with them. That's a good idea.
cool.
Okay.
They may have tastings on Memorial Weekend, so that Memorial Weekend might not work for them.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, I shall find out. At least I got something to go with now.
So one thing you could add to the calendar that starts on the 1st of the month would be the display at the Corvallis Library, Historic Preservation display. So it'll be through the whole month. And then that's where people can pick up handouts and schedules and stuff like that.
Okay.
Great. Did we decide on a name yet? Or the theme? I had to step away for a minute.
It is windows into the past, views to the future.
Yeah, all of them sounded usable.
Mhm.
But that can be a really fun poster. You can create a pretty cool poster with that. Right. Are you creating the poster? Is
Right,
that your-
Adrienne? Are you? I always look at Adrienne for my graphics.
I do get calls from Inga for things. Yeah, I think I could fit that in. What's my deadline?
You don't have to. No, I'm sure you're plenty busy.
No. I do want to do it. I like doing art. You know that.
I know. I know.
And I already have the
Unfortunately-
color scheme in mind, so I may as well do the whole darn thing.
Thank you.
What's my deadline though?
Probably end of the 3rd week of April is probably the latest. I'll have to have at least the majority of the schedule done by then and in place to be.
So if we said
If it's an advertising poster, we want to get it out well ahead of that.
Well, we're not, well, actually, I was gonna wait towards the end of the meeting because Bob had some ideas about advertisement and he sounded very interested in taking that on. So I was going to leave that up to him
Okay.
to head. Yeah. Hold on. I can't. There it is. Stop sharing. There we go. All right. We'll get to you, Bob. Hold on. Let me get through my list here, and then you're kind of towards that bottom there. All right. So I heard from Dave Eckert. He emailed me, and he wants to do a tour of the Orleans natural area, and he suggested May 10th, which is a Wednesday. He would like someone who could do the historical portions of that walk to interpret the historical section. So he would do the natural part and then someone else to do the historical portion of it. And he said I could also probably negotiate to have someone from the Corvallis City staff along, which I wasn't sure what he was getting at there. But so that will be a very good walk. I haven't been on that one yet.
I think what he
Um,
means is it's Corvallis's facility. It's the park's facility.
Okay, so someone from Parks, maybe?
That's how I would interpret he meant. I mean, it's
Okay.
not gonna be the city manager's office or Public Works. It would have to be what department is in charge of that land.
Okay, that's probably what he means then. So I'm not sure who could do maybe Mary, maybe we can get Mary Gallagher to do the historic part of that. I don't know, she'd be interested. Go ahead, Sarah.
Dave has also been doing some work with Ted Hart, who does stormwater management and things like that. So it's possible that he thinks that he and Ted could have something to share about Orleans.
Okay.
So
I will let him know that, well, I already let him know that we were interested in it. So we will, if you can think of someone to help, I'll ask Mary Gallagher if she's interested in helping him out. Otherwise, we'll see what
So
we can do.
can I throw in a quick aside here?
Yeah, go ahead.
When I was working as election supervisor for Lynn County, we found a beautiful old hand-drawn map that included places like the Orleans. And last time I saw it, it was up on the wall, but I was wondering if any of the historians in the bunch might not like to talk to the clerk and get copies of it for their records.
So it's up on the wall.
Lynn
in the-
County, Lynn County.
Lynn
So
County.
you'd want to talk to Steve Druckenmiller.
Well, I'll let Alyssa get that from him.
Okay.
You know, they just did work there for the Van Buren Bridge as part of the, you know, the 106 study. So there is a lot of information that's more recent than Mary's old information available. Then I'm sure Sarah could get her hands on that from that project. Sarah?
I like turn myself on and off and on and off. Yeah, I have all of the I have the reports from the Section 106 mitigation.
Yeah, so
You probably do too, don't you?
I haven't paid any attention to it for a long time. I have it somewhere, but I don't have it readily available. But yeah, I think it's of value, and in the, you know, the archaeology that they have done recently is pretty interesting. And I think, I mean, I don't know if you could get somebody from ODOT to be there to talk, or from whoever the contractor was. I don't remember who the contractor was now that ODOT hired, but it's pretty interesting. So I could see that as a draw. People love archaeology, generally speaking, from my experience.
Yeah, I can look into that report and see what we have. Let's see if I can find it.
Sounds like it'll be a good walk, one that I will take as well. I don't see Sam with us, so I'm not going to get an update on the Finley. That's okay. Owens Farm, I heard from Matt Benach. He emailed me, and they would like to do an Owens Farm tour. And he said that the city has cleaned up the interior of the home and that they will open that for an inside tour this time.
Wow,
So
that's great.
So he asked if we could do that, and then I get on the list, and I said, yeah, for sure.
The only thing complicated about that would be parking, or how to get people there. That'll have to be worked out.
We parked up the driveway the last tour. Everyone parked along the driveway leading up to the house.
Okay.
Did he
Yeah,
give
it
you
worked
a
out.
date?
No, we haven't picked a date yet. He said he would. I sent him the calendar, and he said he would look at it and get back to me. So last time they put it was a little weird. So last year's tour, they did not put it in their newsletter. I asked them not to put it in their newsletter and their emails. until the folks outside of, who weren't part of their group, who weren't part of their membership, had a chance to sign up for the tour. I did not get any signups for the tour. So I eventually just said, I had to say, yeah, just open it up to your membership. And yeah, there were more people than signed up that showed up. So maybe some of them were not part of their membership and just hadn't signed up ahead of time. There were a lot of people on at that tour, more than he said that had signed up for it. So we'll try it again this year. I did try to make it available to the more of the general public than just their membership. So we'll see if that works this year. Farmers market. Adrian, have you had a chance to think about finding some folks for the basket weaving?
I have a lead. The lady I talked to, Mariana, she's white as a ghost and says she doesn't feel comfortable representing, even though her style is native, like that's been her mentors and her trainers. She didn't feel comfortable doing it, so she's turned me on to another lady. Okay. And so I will reach out to her and see if there's a community around it, and if there's somebody who would step up and do that.
All right.
So that's as far as I got.
Okay. At least it got started. Yeah.
Did we talk about, I just put the email for Vonda Peters into the chat. She's the person that actually books events for me. I kind of remember getting started on several things, but I don't remember if this was one. I think it was just the Adair Living History people that contacted us.
Okay, so you want when I find someone to do the coordination with Vonda?
Yes, yeah, because I don't actually keep that calendar myself, and she does a much better job. And she'll, she gives us the punch list of what we need to have there at the market.
I need someone to give me punch lists.
It's a good thing.
Okay, trolley tour. Sarah, did you get a chance to coordinate anything on that?
I got a little bit confused and looked at the minutes and couldn't quite figure out what I had signed up for. But what I did do is talk to Jennifer Killian to see, or I sent an email to Jennifer Killian to see what she thought of like the feasibility of doing a historic tree tour and what that might look like. She has been in and out on maternity leave, and so she hasn't gotten back to me yet.
Okay.
But that is out there. And then I was like, I couldn't remember if I was supposed to contact somebody about the trolley or if you had already done that.
Well, yeah, I think I got hung up on that as well. I need to get back to, oh, what's her name? Jessica McDonald. So let's see. What did she say? I used to do the trolley tour. So she does want to do the historic architecture tour, but for some reason she has not responded back to my emails from before, so I'll have to get back with her again.
Okay, well, if you
so
feel
I'm
like
not sure about yeah.
Okay.
I'm not sure about the tree one, but I think the historic tour would probably go on. But if we can coordinate the tree one, that'll be great too. Whatever.
Okay, I'll keep working on that one.
Yeah, we could try next year.
The main thing you need is the trolley, and as I recall, Visit Corvallis was handling it the last time I worked. Last time that BA and I were giving tours before COVID. So I don't know who's in charge of the trolley, because it costs money to run it, and there was money allotted, 3 years ago, but I don't know what the deal is right now. So somebody needs to check with maybe whoever is paying for the trolley, and there has to be a trolley driver, and there has to be, you know, the route needs to be practiced, and it's not just falling off a log. Takes a little work.
I guess I misunderstood Jessica then. I thought she was
She was a
tour guide, but she, okay, I guess I understood. I thought she had something to do with the trolley also, like
I don't,
getting it.
I doubt it, because it was Visit Corvallis that handled it. You know, they took the reservations, they did all the work, and I don't know I mean, BA probably knows a lot more than I do about how it was originally set up. I just was a tour guide, so I just showed up. But
Okay. Well, I
so-
guess I'll have to look into it more then.
yeah,
I just-
so I would think Visit Corvallis would want to know about the events anyway, so you might want to touch base with is it Jessica? Is that her name? I forget her name. But anyway, she'd want to know about Preservation Month activities anyway. She could hand out things to people, and I think before she even made an announcement in their newsletter that they put on Facebook and in other ways. So she's a good contact.
That's a great idea.
Christy, okay, yeah. Oh, I think is Christina the new, I don't think Christy's there anymore.
Yeah,
It's
they're both
Christina.
there. I've talked to both of them in the last few weeks.
Yeah,
Okay.
and
No,
yeah,
it's-
and Christy's still there too.
Is Christy the main person?
No, Christina is the ED.
Okay, so that's,
ED, but Christy would have done the work to take the reservations and so forth.
in the past, yeah.
She's been there forever.
Yeah, she was our diehard person. I just didn't know if she was still there. Because the meetings that I go to, she's not the one that shows up.
She does all the work behind the scenes.
Yeah.
All right, well, I'll dig more deeply into it because it would be really nice to have the trolley tours. Okay. So there was a request from Doug last time, which is a very good idea, probably for Mary Gallagher's tour and all the other tours that we have, if we're going to continue to have in-person tours during Historic Preservation Month, we need some folks to step up and start taking them over. Some newer guides. So maybe part of our advertisements will need to include some requests for folks who want to be tour guides.
I brought that up at the city's HRC meeting last week, and Bruce Anderson, who is one of our members, expressed interest in learning how to be a tour guide. And so I gave him Dave, who did I give?
Doug?
I gave him Doug Eaton's email address to get in touch with him and figure out how to learn how to do that.
Okay, good. Yeah, I was hoping he'd step up. He went to all the tours last year, so
Exactly. I know he was the one I had my fingers crossed about.
Yeah,
He's
yeah, really.
probably interested. Yeah.
But we'll see if we can get some other folks too. Maybe there's someone out here we don't even know about yet who would be interested in doing something like that. We can just advertise. All right. Corvallis Library, Roz.
I just reported, I talked to Charles and he's like, sure, we'll do it. So It's
Okay.
just, yeah, it's scheduled to happen and he'll pull it together with, I can work with him the week before. It's the last, they don't have to, they just start finding books and putting them out. So it's
Okay.
not a big job, but they're happy to do it.
Okay, good. Thanks. Jay, we already did you. Let's see. I don't want to get into this topic yet. So we'll go into Bob. Advertisements, you had some ideas.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, so as a background for the group, I have lived in the Corvallis, Albany area for about a year. I had mentioned that last year, even though my wife and I look for opportunities to see historical events or historical sites, that I had totally missed Historic Preservation Month. And I offered to serve on a committee to help improve on that visibility. And specifically, I think the first thing I got back from Inga is we don't have any money. And so I suggest, she said, we've tried the local papers and it wasn't cost effective and we don't have any money. And so I said, well, maybe we can get an article written on the Historic Preservation Month, focusing on local activities, because the papers here seem to do a great job focusing on local things. And then the other thing, I'm 72, by the way. The other thing I suggested was hard copy circulars. I think Inga had said there's a lot of dependence on like Visit Corvallis or whatever the comparable things are in other locales for spreading the word. But hard copy circulars in places like community centers, adult communities. I didn't know there was already an effort underway to produce a piece for the library, but maybe that could just be expanded on actually and taken to other locations. And I volunteered to, be the distribution arm for that. So, I think you were leaning for me to lead an effort, which I would be happy to do, but I would need a couple of people who are more in tune with what's been done and in the past and things like that. So.
Could I interject something here?
Sure.
We had an event in Tequila Landing last Saturday, and we were not getting a lot of responses. So I put it on Neighborhood. You're aware of the Neighborhood.
Yes.
I was notified that we had 905 contacts because of that. Thank God 905 people didn't show up, but it does seem to be a very lucrative spot. I'm sure Corvallis has its equivalent, so you might try that.
Okay.
Yeah, the county and the city, and I'm sure Albany as well, have public information officers that help put out information events and such. So we have people who are signed up for a newsletter, about 30,000 for Benton County. I'm not sure how many for the cities. So that goes out once a month, and the information on Historic Preservation Month goes in those email newsletters. They also have the Nextdoor app. They have Facebook, and we put it on our website. So those venues are already available. Putting stuff out is always the big problem. It's been me going around and giving things, and that doesn't work out too well because I'm not a pushy person. I don't like to go into people's business and say, hey, can I tack this up, or here, have a bunch of these. And so that having you do that would be great. Finding all those venues to we could make it posters. Adrian, loves to make postcards and posters. So
I do, and I have a list of places where we put all of our tabbed flyers. And that list is growing. So it's a current list of places that accept posters.
yeah,
I will share that with you, Robert.
Yeah, that's really helpful. You know, it used to be to just walk up and down streets in the downtown and work the area, but you really kind of need you need a list like Adrian has to do it efficiently. There are fewer and fewer places that will take stuff like that. But the prettier your poster is, the more likely it will go up. And so if you get a nicely designed poster, that does open a couple doors.
And different sizes work too. So we typically walk out with a legal size and a letter size, and then the postcards, because some places will take the postcards or a brochure, but they don't have any place to put posters. So we're slowly figuring it all out.
Yeah. If you know, if you don't mind if it goes in their break room, you can suggest that. But then that's, you know,
Yep.
you spent, you know, X number of cents on printing that thing, and if it's only going to be seen by 4 people, you're not that happy.
It's great in the break room over at Starbucks, because they have a lot of people and they all talk. Jay's hand has been up.
yeah, Jay.
Two things. First one, the sustainability Corvallis Sustainability Coalition email list is tremendously fruitful for us, for Willamette. When we ask people, how'd you hear about this at our events, we get the sustainability emails all the time. And then the other thing, I've been texting with the president of Fairmont Grange. He says he'd like first or third Saturday. Does either one of those mesh with something else in Albany?
First Saturday is very full.
Okay, how about third Saturday?
No, that would be fine. That's Cumberland Church spire raising.
Okay, that
So-
could be really good. That could be really good. And they must have a time for their spire raising, but we probably don't know it.
I don't know it yet. Yeah.
Yeah. So why don't you put Fairmont Grange for third Saturday, and he said 12 to 4.
Okay.
And he said that he contacted the woman from the Albany HRC and replied to her email, but he never heard back.
Okay.
But they were pretty excited when I broached the topic with them. They were like, "Oh yeah, we wanted to do that kind of thing."
Oh, all right.
So third Saturday, 12 to 4, Fairmont open house historical tour.
It's on. Excellent. Yeah, so Bob, I mean, you and I can coordinate definitely. Adrian, I think you should probably be in on that. On
Okey-dokey.
what we're gonna do for our
Promotions.
advertisements.
Yeah.
Anyone else want to be included?
If we want to be in the Willamette Living, we need to get them information now
Well, we've got
in the May issue.
a schedule. It's already a half
That's better
full
than
calendar.
nothing. I mean, we could write up just a real quick press release that highlights some of these things and send the schedule and.
Are
maybe
you
put
interested
some-
in writing advertisements and such, Bob?
I'm sorry, say again, please.
Are you interested in being a writer as well?
I don't have any trouble authoring things. That's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, I think the challenge is it's March 22nd. We're still changing things on the schedule. So, things that are going to have a long lead time are going to be a real challenge at this point.
Yeah. Well, we'll have to maybe get together next week and
Yeah, I think that if you and Adrian and I can get together maybe later this week on just a 15-minute conference call, sounds like there's a lot of experience in managing these things, so I'll do whatever I can do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think what you could do, first of all, is just write like a paragraph or so of what Historic Preservation Month is and why it's significant. And then fill in the details as what several of them already. And then say that the calendar will be ready on such and such date, and it's contact Inga for it or online or something.
Yeah, I think you could do that. It's not very effective though, in my mind. If you don't have it in front of the person as a takeaway or something they can see right then. I agree with the overall approach of highlighting Historic Preservation Month, but
Well, I was just thinking in terms of getting something written for what Historic Preservation Month is, that you could do that now, today, practically. And
sure.
then when you guys get together, it's only a page, right?
Yeah, we may actually be able to contact, I don't know if this is available or not, but there may be promotional materials available from the national office that's managing this, the governmental office.
Yeah, there is some stuff out there if you just go online for
Let's just
Historic
talk about it
Preservation.
in a group call, because one thing that we could do is we could ghost out a Spectre's ghost, get it? Ghost out a press release, and then I could flesh it out, bring it back to life.
Yeah, de-ghost it.
Sorry, I've been reading Native American ghost stories today.
And just be sure to mention the theme. That's
Yeah.
your hook.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay, I think that was the last item on the list besides the specters. But before we go into specters, I want to, let's see, just make sure I update you on any other things that are on this calendar. So Natural Areas Week, share the screen again, is actually the 6th to the 14th. We had it.
Oh,
I had it the 1st to the 7th or something like that. They're doing the Spring Garden Festival on the 7th, and the Rest Haven is doing something, but I don't have a date. Rest Haven Nature Center. Does that sound right? Rest Haven, Rest Haven, Rest Haven. I guess it doesn't matter. She didn't give me a date anyway, so
Were you trying to get Hest Haven?
that was
Yeah,
that
it's
it.
Hest Haven.
Hest Haven.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's the Audubon thing up on Oak Creek Road.
Oh, okay. So they're
Or-
gonna have. They're
I
gonna
think it's Oak Creek
be.
Road at that point.
They'll be open every day of Natural Areas Week for like 2 hours. It's got the Cumberland Church. I already told you about that. Paramount we got on there. So Alyssa had sent me stuff on their tours that I put in. The Natty Dresser is going to have in Albany is going to have it with their open house at 3 o'clock on the 15th. And they're having, he's giving downtown Albany tours on the 9th and the 10th at 6 p.m. And I took one of his tours and it was really, really good. And it was a very cold day and I didn't have a coat and I still enjoyed it. Just so you know. We have our award in ceremony, yay. And Mary Gallagher's party. We have Willamette Range, etc. on the 21st. Yeah, I think everything on here you've seen. So, okay.
So we have the white side for the ceremony for
Yes.
sure. Okay,
Yep, I have already booked.
great.
What are sidewalk stamps?
That's the when you look at the concrete and you see someone's name in there or an icon or something
Oh, okay,
in the concrete.
right. So, okay,
Yeah.
got it.
Go ahead,
Inga,
Nancy.
what time is our awards banquet?
I have it starting at 6. I think that was what we did last year.
Okay.
I
Thank
told
you.
them we would need it. Sarah, did I tell them 4:30? We would start setting up. I think that's what I told them.
Yeah, I think that was right. I think that's about when we set up last year when we started
Yeah.
scrambling around.
So Larry's got to go to his band gig, but are we going to talk about awards tonight at all? I want to give his idea.
Yeah, we haven't talked about that ourselves, or I don't know. Sarah, are you guys talking in your group?
We have had we gave a lot of awards last year. I can't decide whether I want one or two of these, but we gave a lot of awards last year, and this year we haven't had a lot of big projects, really hardly at all. And it's like probably Fairbanks is the biggest one that we've had on campus, and it's not completed yet. So the group, when we talked last year, I asked everybody just to, search through their memories of HPPs over the last year and see if anything kind of stuck out to them. We may have like an individual one or something like that, but Inga, I was going to talk to you about the potential of having those become joint instead of separating the county and because it's kind of a joint project that we do every year. So yeah, I don't know. We might not come up with a whole lot, but I gave them until their April meeting, April 11th, to give me nominations.
So Larry's idea does fit in with what Sarah just said.
Okay.
It's like a one-time thing though. He suggested that we all, the two commissions plus PresWorks, do an award for Mary Gallagher. And as he was dashing to the other room, he said to do it at her retirement party, not at the awards ceremony as we normally would, or at least is that before the awards ceremony or after? I don't know.
Her party is after the ceremony.
It's after, but we're not really in charge of her party, are we?
No.
No, but
it
we
might
could
feel awkward to be like, oh wait, we have something to do.
I wouldn't mind crashing her party, but at any rate, consider what we all should do about that. And then so he was, while you guys were talking, well, I was trying to listen to you, he was saying something about Albany and Lynn County, but we're not combining awards with them, are we? Okay. I don't know if that's what his idea was or not, but he's not accessible anymore. So, well, if you said the party is after
the 31st,
it's on the 31st. Yeah.
Well, we could then do it. In that case, I would say do it at the awards ceremony and then just, kind of make a curtain call at the other.
I think that'd be better. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that would be better too, because I think the three organizations are going to be better represented at the award ceremony than at her retirement dinner. So the more the better, and actually if she gets notification twice, it's wonderful because she deserves it over and over and over.
Yeah. Other than just in this household, I haven't been discussing this around, but it seems like this is an unusual case. And we, of course, want to keep her doing tours and things like that. So anything we can do to make her feel loved is good.
Awards go a long way, I can promise you that.
Yeah, other than, yeah, we haven't discussed it at all. And do we have anyone have any ideas for this year?
We did a lot of basement egress windows this past year.
Doesn't
Well,
sound
it's within the theme though.
Thrilling
It
work.
is windows.
Yeah, right.
escaping
Thrilling
from
work,
something.
yeah.
Now. So we did, I kind of remember Pres Works, we were kind of waiting to see what the commissions were doing, but we did pick somebody that we did pick somebody that the commissions weren't was on your list. So we'll have, I forget, are we the third Thursday? We should probably start bringing that up.
Well, here's an idea that just popped in my head. If we're going to recognize Mary Gallagher, and she's a big part of our preservation month, being the downtown tour guide, how about we recognize all of our tour guides this year?
Well, we haven't been doing too many tours.
Well, we have people that do it all the time. Like, well, Larry got his his award last year.
Like, yeah, like
So
that.
he would
No
just
repeats this year.
get a notice at the end saying yes, and Larry too, but he got his award last year. So
I'm sitting in the room with all his awards, so I'm not sure that there's not a lot more room left here.
yeah. But like Doug,
Dancing.
and who else? Lynn Larson, yeah. Dave Eckert,
Dave got an award last year.
yeah, he did. So
Jill's with us.
Jill, yes.
Jill. Carolyn.
Gosh, yes.
Carolyn Verlinden.
We can,
Yeah. Frank
short of
Crotty.
an actual award, I mean, we can just highlight, since we're looking to recruit people, we can recognize, highlight what they do, and at the same time say, but there's room for more, we're not immortal.
That might make a nice venue for a newspaper article. And you could also point out that some of us are getting a bit long in the teeth and would like to train some newbies. I'm looking around.
That's so, yeah. So I'm getting more excited about this. Yes. Yeah. So we don't have to give awards. We just highlight, get the newspaper article. That would be great. And then that leads into, hey, and by the way, we need some volunteers to step up.
There's a lot of people out there who are just itching to do something, but they can't find a venue on how to get to it. So, from my experience, all you have to do is reach them, and they love doing it.
Preserve the preservationists.
Well, in my world, I'd say it's succession plant the preservationists. So you have a new crop coming up all the time. Jay's version is sexier though.
All right, well, think about it,
Yeah.
everyone. Or
I like that idea too. And for us, yeah, in a year, especially that we didn't have a bunch of shiny objects coming through, I was like, I don't really want to force it. I felt like we put a lot of time and thought into the things that at least that the city HRC selected for awards, and like we don't really do a lot of that this year.
Yeah.
So, and
Well,
also we had like 2 or 3 years worth of projects that all went to the same award ceremony.
mm-hmm.
And this is a beautiful opportunity to sit down with a guy from the newspaper and just give kind of a little outline of what it takes to be a tour guide, and you know, and how you do that and how much fun you get from that. And people will read that and say, "I'll say, well, I can do that. I thought there was more to it than that."
Mhm.
Can I also just put in there with that article that we still need 2 more HRC members on the city at HRC? Got 5.
As long as you explain what HRC is.
Yeah, right.
Question, do we have any authors who've released books this year in this area? Any multimedia projects, anything like that? It would be wonderful if we had somebody we could highlight. And
I don't know where we are. I think this is for next year, but there's Bill Robbins worked on a new history of Benton County, but I don't know where we are on that.
I had coffee with him the other day. He hasn't really got a publisher yet, so he's still on the stage. So it's too early.
Yes,
really.
too early, but maybe by next year.
Next year, yeah.
So could I point out, I got an email from Judy Judson today, whose specialty is the courthouse, and they're going to do a story on the history, little vignettes, the history of the courthouse. And they wanted me to tell them everything I know about the courthouse ghosts and the different stories. So, you know, watch out for that one. And you might want to get a hold of her if you have some lovely stories.
Yeah, actually, I'm working with Judy on that because
Oh, good.
she found that manuscript about the courthouse, and we are going to change it a lot and talk about stories because people love the stories. And so we'll talk about the architecture, of course, but it'll be more of a fun read for people rather than, you know, a strict historic document. So,
You know,
Yeah,
for years, I didn't talk about the ghosts in the courthouse because I was afraid that the commissioners wouldn't like the idea that. So I didn't say anything. And one day I had one of the commissioners on my tour and she said, "Yeah, but what about the ghosts?" So I guess they're official now.
yeah, Judy read to me what you had told her, Jill, and it's really good, the stories that you were telling her. And I do think the public's going to love that stuff. So
Yeah, and it'll bring a lot of foot traffic in too.
Yeah.
I am on another thing I'd like to mention, which is totally out of the area, but might be of interest to you, is I'm on an ad hoc committee to decide what to do with the courthouse when the courts leave and how to keep it from being destroyed. And so what we're doing is we're looking at courthouses all over the United States and how they've managed to reuse those courthouses. And so if any of you have some brilliant little idea that's been percolating for years and you want to talk to somebody, now would definitely be the time. You can talk to me or to Chris Westfall, the manager.
Steam Museum.
And the museum, yeah. So
Steam
whoever
Museum.
it is,
No, I'm
talk to
saying instead of STEM, do a Steam Museum and then preserve one of the courthouse rooms. I haven't been able to be in any of the damn meetings, so I'm telling Jill now.
well, this is just the worst time for this to be happening because there isn't the horsepower to do that.
Well, you know, I'll give you an interesting thing that I didn't know for many years. As long as we don't change the purpose that the courthouse is being used for, we are not legally bound to rebuild it for earthquake safety. So as long as it stays as a courthouse per se, i.e. maybe a arbitration center, then we don't have to worry about trying to pass one of those $12 million taxes. And having been through 3 earthquakes in that courthouse, I'd say the old girl is pretty tough.
Did you say 12 million?
That's
the latest count, but it's just spiraling up every year.
Good Lord.
Yep.
You're not gonna be able to, the nonprofit sector is just not gonna be able to pony up the rents to support to support that, and the county is not going to be in a position to subsidize those uses.
Well, and that's why the commissioners made this ad hoc committee. We've got to find an answer. They don't want anything to happen to it. And we do have a few things up our sleeves.
I hope so.
Yeah, we actually have, I'm on that committee too, and that we have two groups working on them. One, Jill's in one group and I'm in another group, and the group that I'm looking, you know, we'll come together and try to, it'll probably be a mixed use thing that we end up suggesting. But anyway, it's a major challenge.
Okay, specters, that's our last item, I think. Unless, does anyone have anything they want to share? Okay. Adrian, you're up.
No new news. Gonna make it really simple. I see I have many calls to make by the end of the week. I still don't have a place for the finale, so I'm a little bit not freaked out about it, but it's an anchor that helps in planning everything else. So I'll call the Longhouse folks this week. The students over there are incredibly enthusiastic about community engagement and sharing their stories and stuff. So I want to ride the wave of the student enthusiasm at the Longhouse, because they're the energy that we need to get a hold of anyway. You know, we're talking about succession planning. Well, there it is. So I will follow up with all of that this week and actually talk to teachers and not just students.
Will we be getting a calendar right after the meeting? I'm going to need a calendar if I'm going to set up the courthouse tours. And I would like to thank Saint Bernadette for coming. I love the halo that she has over. She's so very sedate, and she has this lovely halo over her.
Yeah, she wins best background for sure.
Yeah.
It's all very gold.
Looks like the gold room.
Yes,
So,
it's
yeah.
Lyndhurst in Tarrytown, New York.
Oh. Is it a private home?
No, it's owned by the National Trust for Historic Preservation. And if
Okay.
you give them your money, they will let you download Zoom backgrounds to impress your friends and neighbors.
And we too can be a saint.
Exactly, exactly. Or you can, I think the other one, one of the other ones they have that's really cool is the Edith Farnsworth house. That's a Mies van der Rohe, very modern kind of thing. So yes.
Look at that floor on over
yeah.
his shoulder.
Oh, let me.
Well,
Like-
either way. Oh, there.
See, nice
oh,
rug.
wow. Yeah, wow.
They are actually doing, it's kind of fun. They're doing a thing, they're doing plays there now. And where was that? I just looked at it. They've got like, they're doing some sort of murder mystery play, like sort of a, you know, a murder is announced at the site. So it's one of their events that they're doing for Preservation Month there, apparently.
What a great idea. I love it.
What's the name of the house again? I better look it up.
Lyndhurst. It's where Lyndhurst. It's where Jay Gould, the guy who caused the financial crash, the 1897 crash. He was that was his house.
Oh, look at Adrian has now
Yeah,
switched
Adrian
in.
Oh, there you go.
I'm going through. So this was from last year, from the Whiteside portion. No, 2 years ago, because we couldn't end at the Whiteside anyway. But we could do stuff like this for people, just like the preservation.
Ah,
These are my ghost ones. Somewhere in there is oh, there she is. She's over right there. What's her face? I can't remember her name, the organ player.
All right.
That's
Um,
your entertainment for the evening, right?
So, a Zoom background, it's not any special format, is it?
I don't think so, because I think I'm trying to remember if the Cumberland actually did sort of Zoom backgrounds even, or did they just do a calendar that you could use as one of their preservation month things a couple of years ago? So yeah, no, I don't think it's a special format. I think it's just a,
no, I think you can just take a picture and
yeah.
JPEG it.
What are they, Adrian?
These are two
No,
actors.
the format. Are they just
These are
JPEGs?
just, I use PNGs,
Or-
but you
yeah,
can
yeah,
use
yeah.
JPEGs or, yeah. And then I can't remember what the screen ratio is, but it doesn't take much to do it. It's just a matter of choosing the right images and cropping it correctly. And you have to remember that somebody's in the middle,
Yeah.
Mhm.
right? So I did a whole
Yeah.
bunch of designs at one time early on and zoomed them. This is our DB Cooper setting. It's the bathroom.
So what, for us newbies, what is it called? What do you call them? The backgrounds?
They're called backdrops. So they're Zoom backdrops and they're just images.
Yeah, so if you go into where it says, your video settings are, and it has the stop video, and if you click on that, it has video settings. And in there, you can choose what you want to do. I think it's under, no, somewhere in there.
Backgrounds and effects on the left.
There you go, yep.
Oh, yes. And then there's all those fancy things that Inga's doing.
Exactly.
So this is the actual airplane. This is the actual
Well,
version of the
so
airplane that DB Cooper
I don't,
was in.
there is one step that I would have to take. It says your device requires a green screen to support virtual background. So I don't, but there is a learn more I can click on.
Yeah, if your computer or laptop is older, like 6 years or older, it likely won't work.
Oh, okay. No, mine is not that old. I got it during the pandemic, so.
Oh, you can run these. Easy
Yeah.
peasy.
Yeah, just,
Inga, you're looking good.
well, I would like something besides my Larry's office.
So
Nothing-
next time we're all gonna show up with these little.
Well,
kits.
there was that thing that went viral, like during the pandemic, where there was actually like a lawyer meeting, and the guy couldn't figure. His daughter had said it, and he couldn't figure out how to turn it
Yeah,
off.
I remember
Like,
that.
he said, "I'm not really a cat."
Truthfully,
Yeah, that was pretty
not really
funny.
a cat.
There, I'm at my hall.
Yeah.
There you go. Perfect.
There you go.
Perfect.
It's the Willamette Grange. That's considered
what-
your house, huh?
Pretty
Tell
much.
everyone you're having a bingo party this Saturday evening.
That's right. That's right. The first bingo in the hall.
And then Sunday, you're having the propagation fair.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
For all us hort heads.
Yeah, that'll be interesting. It's a new cooperator.
Yeah,
And of course, Jay is now the state president for the Grange, and so God knows how he'd do it without Tony.
It's so last weekend I drove to Klamath Falls for a Grange thing, then up to Rick Real for an open house, and then up to Seattle.
Yeah.
I'm learning
no,
all
I-
about
I'd
how
like
to
to thank
do,
all the livestock for showing up.
I'm learning all about how to travel long distance with an electric vehicle.
Ooh.
You know, if you get AAA, they will come and charge you up if you run out of battery.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
What if they would do it every time I tried to get to Portland? They'd see a pattern, I suppose.
Okay, so our next meeting is April 26th. That is our next date. That is going to be after I should have the calendar full by that point. So I'm wondering if we want to have a meeting in between there or just deal with stuff through email. Probably just email's fine, right?
We might want a meeting in between. Can we schedule one? And then if we determine we don't need it, then don't do it.
Yeah, the 12th of the 12th. Does that sound good for everyone? Those Wednesday nights usually good.
It would start at 6.
Probably.
Yeah.
The 12th does not work for me. I have a board meeting at the Art Center.
I can't take the filter off. Oh, there it is. Okay. Hopefully no one else watches this video because they'll.
Oh, I forgot about that.
This is one of the most entertaining Zoom meetings I've been in.
What about Thursday instead, the 13th?
That works for me.
What about everybody else?
I've got a 5 o'clock, but I should be, as long as it's a Zoom, I should be able to make it by 6.
There's
Okay.
good. Okay.
That'll
right.
be
I'm
easy
good.
for, I think
Do
it'll
we-
be for Larry not to have it on a Wednesday.
Do we put a question mark after this one?
Let's just schedule it. Let's say let's just do it. And then I can go over the calendar and then we'll deal with any last minute items. I am going to need, like last year, once we get the calendar full, then I'll need to start getting information from the people about, where they're going to meet, that stuff to put in the actual descriptions of the events, what the event is, where they're going to meet, all that information that we need. Are there times? Is it going to need to, people are going to need to sign up for it, or, all that information I usually get. So 13th, starting at 6. And
We'll just roll from there into a preservation works meeting, it looks like, but we'll survive, I guess.
okay.
So,
All right. Go ahead, Jill.
Inga, will you send out a calendar so I can get going on my job?
I'm going to send one just to you because I don't want to miss you in case you weren't in the group calendar.
And look
for
in
some
your
reason.
spam just in case.
Okay.
Is it MJVB 47?
Yes.
Okay. And then I will send out the calendar to everyone else tomorrow. All right. Thank you very much. Berna, if you have anything to add, just go ahead. I've got your email. I will email you, put you on the calendar list.
Great, that's great. And I will, as soon as we get anything firmed up, I will let you know.
All right, cool. Excellent.
And then Inga, you, Robert, and I, we should set up a meeting for that too.
Yes. Have a good night, everyone.
Good night. Thanks for inviting me.
Night.
You're
Bye.
welcome. Thanks.